Okay, you guys, I think it's time. I keep looking at this plant and saying to myself, you should probably be on a moss pole. And I haven't actually done a moss pole before, which feels very off-brand for a plant person, but today we're fixing that. Oh my God. Please ignore the free sound effects that my chair is providing. I think it just wants to give us a little ASMR. Hey guys, welcome back to Thankfully Packed. My name is Chris. So today we're going to be doing something that I've never done before, a moss pole. I kind of feel like it's a rite of passage for plant people, and at some point you graduate from just owning houseplants to engineering little structures for them to climb. Like, I don't make the rules. It just is what it is. So this is my Thai constellation Monstera. If you know anything about these babies, you know that they are slow, like painfully slow. It took me 3 months to get this one leaf after I got the plant, and it finally gave me some fenestrations and even a nice little sectoral segment, which I'm not complaining about, but 3 months? Do better. And I mentioned in my February favorites video recently that I want to possibly put this on a moss pole because supposedly they grow really pretty leaves and they're huge and they fenestrate quicker, and it's just overall a better look if they have something to climb. So naturally my brain went, experiment. So today we are treating this as a little science project slash an excuse to fuss around my plants, which is always a good time. Additionally, I also have two regular Monstera deliciosas, which I got around the same time and they're roughly the same size. So I'm thinking this is a great opportunity for a little test. I'm thinking one of them gets the moss pole treatment and the other one keeps living its moss pole free life, and then we just see what happens. A little Monstera trial, if you will. First, a little liquid optimism. Okay, so here's the deal. Monsteras are climbers. In the wild, they climb onto tree trunks and make their way up. And those aerial roots that stick out everywhere are basically the plant's way of sending a strongly worded email like, hey, where's my tree trunk at? Moss poles, or any climbing structure that you provide it with, really act like a pseudo tree trunk. So when a Monstera starts climbing one, you often get bigger leaves, more fenestrations, all the drama, all that good stuff. We're about to see if that's actually true. My research tells me yes. Technically, I know you can DIY these, and people make them out of chicken wire and zip ties and like a minor in engineering. I did not do that. I simply ordered a kit online because I just wanted the first time experience with a moss pole to be as simple as possible. We're in our low effort, high reward era right now, and I just wanted something that was ready to go and made for this. I also have a ton of sphagnum moss because I save it every single time I get a plant shipment. In fact, this little Tycon still has some leftover sphagnum moss on top, and you know, us plant people, we know, we save moss. Or is it just me? I don't know, but I've got a ton of it. First up is hydrating the moss. I keep this little container already hydrated. Yes, it's nice and damp. It's not soaking wet, but it's damp enough. This bigger one is not. It's completely dry, so I might have to add some water to this, so we'll see. But I also have to open up this kit because I have no idea what's really in it. I ordered this ages ago and just like really never did anything with it. And then I remembered that I wanted to put that Tycon on a moss pole, so perfect solution. Okay, so let's see. Oh God, what the heck? Oh, it's got the Velcro tape. That's awesome. Okay, great. So that will let us attach the stems to the moss pole when the time comes. Quick little peruse of the instructions. Alrighty, looks pretty simple so far. Okay, embarrass me. My God, is this like glued together? This is like the strongest wrap I've ever experienced in my life. Hello? Okay, 10 years later, but we got it open. Oh my gosh, this is like really tall. Here's what we're working with. It looks like really long sheets. I think this is the 15-inch one. Oh my God. Actually, this might be 24 inches. So this is the 2 feet poles. They also make them in a smaller size, but I guess I just kind of wanted the bigger one right away. I don't know if that's a mistake or not. Probably means that they'll dry out faster because there'll be more moss to water, but anyway, I've got plenty of sheets. Jeez Louise. And I think I only need one per plant right now because they're not that long, so this should, you know, last me a while. Honestly, this feels pretty straightforward so far. I was fully prepared for this to be more of a chore than it is. Taking it out of the packaging was probably the hardest part so far. Oh, did I crease this wrong? Yes, I did. Hold on. Maybe I spoke too soon. Okay. Here we go. So I'm just folding along the seam here to get it to take shape. There we go. All right, there's one side. Look at that, it's already a lot straighter than it was. And then I'm gonna repeat it over here. There's always a moment in like every plant project where you realize you probably should have watched a couple tutorials first from some experts, but we're already committed, so let's just keep going. All right, let's start off with the Tycon. I had this little plant buddy holding up the stems for me. He's so cute. Your services are no longer needed. It's in kind of a relatively small pot. I do think I need, I mean, there's a little soil in here already at the bottom. I don't know, do I need more soil here first? I think so. So it's gonna go something like this. That. Yeah, let's add some soil. I'm gonna add some soil to this bottom piece and then I'll start building it up with moss. Let me go get that. Okay, I think that's good. And healthy roots. Stick it in here. I'm assuming this is the back of the Monstera where this root is, and that is what I'm gonna stick into the moss, or like into this side, like that. Yeah. That's one way to do it. I'm just gonna kind of guide this root into the pole and hopefully that starts reaching in there and attaching itself. I have another one. Okay, I think that's good for now. I don't want to put any of this Velcro tape on the actual stems because I'm pretty sure that'll damage them, but that's good. I'm just gonna add also a little bit more moss up here. And I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I need to fill up this entire pole right away with moss because there's not enough plant to climb it yet. I don't know. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. So I filled it up to like right there. This is what it looks like from the front. That looks good. Okay, time for the deliciosas. So they're sort of the same size. To be honest, this one is a little bit bushier, but it also has a really long, juicy aerial root, just like begging for something to climb. So I think this is the one that I'm gonna start training on the moss pole. And then this one will just continue living and doing its thing on its own. Making sure that the moss pole is all the way at the bottom, like at the very bottom of the pot, because I don't want it toppling over. And I also chose some fairly heavy pots, decently sized or in weight anyway, so that if this does size up really big, I don't have like the Leaning Tower of Pisa on my hands. Okay, wait. I did not think this through. I'm like over here thinking, oh, it's so bushy, it's nice. But honestly, there are like a lot of plants in here. Like a lot. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 different Monsteras in here. I don't think that's gonna work. I feel like if I stick this whole thing in here, it's just gonna compete for space and become a hot mess real soon. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pivot real quick and just choose like maybe 1 or 2 stems. Like this one has that nice aerial root, and so does this one right here. I think I'll just choose like 2 of those and pop it in here and then just leave the rest alone. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay, so I'm gonna use these 2 because like I said, it's got this nice aerial root already begging for something, and then there's like a few more coming out. It's got a little nub over here, right there. So I'll just keep these together. A little more soil. Just gonna stick this aerial root in here and stick the moss around it, just like that. And then the other ones down here too. Okay, that was actually a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be, and a lot quicker too, which is always nice when it comes to plant projects. Truly, I think it was because I got the pre-made moss poles. So if you're hesitant like I was, for your first time moss pole, just go ahead and buy the pre-made ones. It'll save you so much time and heartache because it's just something you don't really have to think about. I can see myself DIYing it in the future with like the whole chicken wire situation, to be honest, because now that I've done it, it's a lot less intimidating. That method also looks fairly easy, if I'm being honest. But for now, I am very happy with this. And I specifically got moss poles with a closed back like this. Oh, excuse me, rude. I specifically got moss poles with a closed back because the ones that are chicken wire or fully open, like a 360-degree situation, those dry out a lot quicker. And if you're already bad at watering on time like me, that just feels like I'm setting myself up. At least this way, it's really only open like on the front and I guess on the top, but that way it'll hold in moisture a lot longer. But yeah, now we wait. And hopefully if this works, we should start seeing some bigger leaves really soon, some fenestrations, and just overall happier plant. If you want to see updates on these, stick around because I'm going to be obnoxiously documenting every single new leaf. Also, if you've used moss poles before and you have any tips, tricks, or horror stories, leave them in the comments below so that I can hopefully learn from your experience and avoid any disasters. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post weekly here on YouTube all kinds of planty things, so if that's your vibe, also hit the notification bell so you don't miss my next video and don't miss any updates on these babies. Alright, it is time for me to clean up all the moss that's all over my floor right now, so thank you so much for hanging out with me and my plants, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! You guys better appreciate this upgrade.